Hey, I'm Penny, this is Penelope's Pitstop, and in this video we're going to be doing issue 29, The Left Shoulder Continues. So welcome to 29, the left shoulder build continues, and always let's have a look at the parts. So we have the left shoulder plate, part 1, part 2 and part 3 is the left shoulder accessory, as in part 4, 5, 6 and 7, and they are all on a sprue, and that just leaves three 3x6mm PM screws. And I've forgotten to take the top off the container before the build, so I've got to make lots of noise as I'm trying to build. So these are the parts that we've got. This is the left shoulder plate, which is metal, and these are the accessories, which I think this is a repeat of an earlier issue, and we've got some screws. So it's basically, we've done this before, except that we've got some of the parts in previous issues. But basically it's exactly the same. So let's have a look at step 1. Identify parts 29.3, 29.4 and carefully cut them from the frame. Smooth any rough edges. Step 2. After test fitting, apply a little super glue to the ridge on the inside of part 29.4. And step 3. Fix the two parts together as shown to make the shoulder accessory. Note that there is a seam on one side and the part has a foot. So that's going to be these pieces here, and this is the exact order that they've laid them on the sprue with the picture on the magazine. So we know that we are going to be doing a clip there and a clip there. And we just make sure we've cut that smoothly, which we have not quite. There we go. Oops. And then we take this piece like so. It's very tempting to kind of rush this because we've done it before, but that's where a mistake is going to be made. So this is not quite a good fit. I'm not quite, there we go. So I just want to give that a little bit of a rub on the top with a fine file. And if you remember from before, we're not going to come in from the top because that's the part that's going to be seen. So we'll actually come from the side, and that's the rough side. And that's going to just help with that. There we go. And a little bit there. So we're always filing on the part that won't be seen, and then when we place that together, beautiful. So for speed I will use the glue with the brush applicator, and this bottle really needs a clean up. It's not that old, and yet it's got all gummed up on the sides. So I'm just applying glue to the peg, to the ridge only. That should be sufficient. If it's not, we can always add more glue later on. But for now, we'll just hold that for a few seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll just get something soft and gentle. And I can see that that has not stuck down. So, plan B, I mean it might just be that I've not applied enough glue. So plan B, we'll get our brush applicator glue, and then we will apply glue along these ridges. And I can see that this is going to be hidden up, so it doesn't matter if I apply too much glue. However, I have accidentally got some glue there, so we'll very quickly remove that. So if I place this onto there, and that's not gone in, there we go. And I'll just press that down for a few seconds. Lovely. So we'll get our cocktail stick, and yes, that has now stuck down. So it's all about finding the points of contact, and that's where we need to apply the glue. So that's that piece. So let's have a look at stage 4. Cut the remaining shoulder accessories from the frame and arrange them in the order shown. So 29.6 is this piece. Just that piece there. 29.5 is this piece here. Once you have the orientation of the sprue correct, the rest of the parts are easy to follow. So 29.2 is this one, which I don't think it actually is, because I've got it the wrong way round. So this is 29.2. There we go. So that's going there, and that will leave the last piece 29.7. If I remember rightly, these are now arranged in the order that we will fit them, not the order of the parts. So step 5, take the shoulder assembly from stage 28 and position it in the orientation shown. Apply some super glue to the foot of the assembled parts 29.3 and 29.4 and fit into the socket of part 27.1 in the shoulder assembly. Viewed from this angle, the seam of part A is facing away from you. So what we're looking at for a point of reference, there are 4 connectors at as a clock face, 12, 3, 6 and 9. We're looking for the position of the 5th one, and I can see that the position is going to be there because they are pointing it out. This means that this part goes into there, or not, as the case may be. There we go. So that goes in very firmly. So what I'm going to do now is, we've done all of this before in previous issue, so I'm not going to read out the instructions. I'm just going to display them on the screen in the corner up there. And well, I will read them out, but I won't actually take the time to display them full on screen. So step 6, apply super glue to the foot of the part 29.6 and fit it into the next socket in part 27.1. And if I remember rightly, there is a correct and an incorrect way, and that looks like the correct way, because this way round it just feels, actually this one's not so bad, so I'm going to go with that one. So step 7, apply a little super glue to the base of the foot of part 29.5 and fit inside the bottom socket. So this wants to be pointing that way, and as you can see it goes into there. You can't get it in the wrong way, it just won't go. So that's going to go that way. And then step 8, right, whoops. Step 8 is going to be this one. So apply a little super glue to the base of part 20. Sorry, step 8, apply a little super glue to the base of part 29.2. Now, I don't know if there's a right and a wrong way. There is. So this little tab there is slightly longer on one side, so it will only go in this way. Let's try it the wrong way. yeah, it's very difficult to fit in. So there we go. And then that leaves the final part. Apply a little super glue to stage 9, by the way. Apply a little super glue to the base of part 29.7, and that's not going to fit in that way, which is incorrect. So instead we need to face it away, and that's how they all go in. So step 10, take the left shoulder spring. So this is from a previous issue, 28.3. Supply with the previous stage and fit into the center of the shoulder assembly. So as before is a little channel in the middle, and that fits into that channel perfectly. Take the shoulder plate and check how it fits over the end of the spring, so that the screw holes on part 29.1 are aligned with the sockets in part 27.1. Note that there is a notch tab on part 29.1 which fits over the neck on part 29.6. So what I'm going to do, learning from last time, is I'm going to take the screws, I'm going to get them ready. I'm going to need 3 of them, and I'm going to load my screwdriver up with 1 of them, because I need to get 1 screw in so that the part will just hold long enough for me to get the other 2 screws in. And that doesn't feel like a good screwdriver head for that job. So get everything prepared beforehand. Yeah, that's slipping. So I think we're going to need a small one of these. Oh, that's perfect. So get your magnetized screwdriver, get the screw lined up. I've got a screwdriver that's got a flat base, so I can hold it up that way. So we need to look at the orientation of the screw holes, so we can see we've got 2 down this side and 1 on the other. So we need to line up 1, 2, 3, and we need to line them up the same way. It looks like that's the correct way. So we'll just, whoops, there goes my screwdriver. So you see there's another recess hole there that goes into there like that. So again, we'll just set our screwdriver up, and then this is where we check to see if we have the correct orientation. It looks right, but doesn't mean it is. So we'll squish that down, and I can see that I've got that correct. If it wasn't correct, all 3 holes would not line up. So holding that down, I will just apply the screw just enough to hold, and then I need to act quite fast because that is putting quite a lot of pressure onto that 1 screw. Now there's less pressure on 1 screw, and as soon as I apply this 3rd one, there's even less pressure. So now I've got them in, I can hold it, push it down, whatever I want to do, and I will just fully tighten these up. And this is actually step 11, which I will bring up on screen now, and I did forget to go through it, but this is basically what you're doing. You're fixing that plate in place with the 3 PM screws, and this one is actually struggling. It doesn't seem to be holding that plate down fully. It's almost as though the screws are too long. So right, I think there might be something wrong here, because those screws are not going down. So let me try a larger head. Right, I'm concerned, guys, because these screws seem to be slightly too long, or I just don't have the strength to push them in fully. So there's still movement there. So that's interesting. So let's have a look at this screw. It's certainly wide enough, and it looks about 6mm. It depends on, do you know what, I think that's, no, that's just, right, that is, I've just measured it, and it's 6mm from there to there, this part. So it is definitely a 6mm screw. So I can only assume I've done something wrong, or maybe I'm just not strong enough. So I will do the old famous undo and do up again trick, and I'm going to try a different size head. Sometimes getting a wider screwdriver head, that's too wide. Sometimes getting a screwdriver head that's a little bit wider but not as deep sometimes help. No, that's not going to help. So all I'm really doing here is just changing screwdriver head, so I'm not actually achieving anything. So right, I'm gonna have to go with that for now, but in fact let's have a look in my little box of tricks, because I keep my spare screws. So these are PM 3x6mm, so I don't have any smaller 3mm PMs, which is a shame. So let me see if I can come up with another solution. Bear with me a sec, guys. Okay guys, so that was really hard work. What I've actually done, I couldn't find any shorter screws, so I actually found a different screwdriver, and I've actually managed to get them tightened up, and it really is hard work. So I don't know if we would have benefited from a shorter screw, but I've got that. This one's okay, this side's fine, this side's got a bit of movement to it. I really don't think it's gonna make a lot of difference. I think that's absolutely fine, but I would perhaps have liked a 5mm screw. I think that would have worked a little bit better. I could go out and buy some screws. I don't know if it's worth it just for that one part. But what I might also try is in a day or two I'll undo those screws and put them back in. But I'm happy enough with this. There's not much movement there, and there's this side there's none at all. This side there's a tiny bit. This is the worst bit. So yeah, I've tried my different screwdrivers. In fact, actually I wrecked the head trying to screw it in, so that was obviously the wrong size head. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Sometimes okay is better than overdoing it and trying to wreck it. Well, I'm not trying to wreck it, but that's fine. So that is stage complete. The left shoulder joint has been assembled, and I'm happy that that's been assembled like that. So I will catch you guys in issue 30, which for me is the last one of the pack, because this is the Agora version, where you get 10 issues at a time. So I'll catch you in issue 30.